Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and excuse my throat. Yes, I keep trying to clear it, it keeps getting cloudy. So we are doing Panalisa today, and I got this die quite a while ago. It's a postcard shaped die. Now I will measure it because I'm not sure. You can comment below. That is 5.5 at the cut line and 4 1/4. I think you can actually put a stamp on this and post it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you probably could. So it would be a great die for sending artistic postcards to friends. Right, we are also going to be using this stamp set that I also got from Panalisa quite a while ago. I think it's so pretty. You've got all like little bits of Baroque swirly twirly, you've got grunge, you've got the word postcard, which I'm going to use, and I think previously I have used that frame before, so it's just a really lovely set. And I mean, look at the butterfly. So I've already got that out of the wrapper so that I can use that. I have die cut this, so this is the postcards we're going to be doing. I have got my scruffy mat, and I've also got my stamp platform. Now the inks that I want to use are walnut stain, tea dye, and speckled egg. There you go. I've got my lid on the wrong way around because I label them on the front. There you go, speckled egg. Yeah, right, we're using VersaFine Clair for stamping. I've got my Alina Craft stamp block, and I've already got my doodahs all loaded up with their correct foam, so I know what colours I'm using. I'm just going to pop those there. And I've also got my stamp platform. You can use whatever stamp platform you want. This is the one I choose to use. I've got two of these. I've got the small and I've got the large. So before I show you my pens, I'll get my scruffy mat down. There we go. Just my piece of silicone that, you know, keeps my surfaces tidy-ish. That's all I'm going to say, just ish. And I'm using Posca pens. And I don't believe the colours are on these. I may be incorrect, but I don't think they are. They tend to come in a set, and they're the 3M size, so they're not too big. And I'm also using my Artist Stroke Extra Fine because those are pens that I like. So this is a lovely kind of aqua blue, and then you've got a banana yellow, and then we've got a green. Right, so let's get stuck in. And the first thing I want to do is colour the background. So I'm trying to move stuff out of my way from rolling around, and I want to do speckled egg all over it. So I hope I'm not all hazy on the camera. So I'm just going to pick up my colour, just give it a good squidge. I'm just starting at the corner. These are very, very juicy pads, so you know, you do tend to get a very good blend right off the bat. So we're changing the colour of that. I do like this shade. I don't use it often enough. It's like once you collect all the distress inks, sometimes you can get a little bit flummoxed as to what to use, and then other times you end up picking favourites, and so you know you'll go with a colour collection for a while and then switch to something else. But it is nice to find different colours and just mix them up. Now I'm using my heavy weight cardstock here that I get from Amazon, and when you ink it, it does something really lovely, and I hope you can see that. Can you see how it just speckles into the fibres? Now I'm sure not everybody would like that, but I do, and I've got something stuck on my paper there, and I'm just going to have to live with it. But it just gives that lovely hazy cloudy appearance, and it's just really pretty. Right, so I am all speckled egg on the backgrounds for now, and then I want to go in with my tea dye. So I'm somebody who tends to operate in rules of thirds, and you'll see what I mean. So going in this corner again, I'm just going to add a little bit down here, And that's blending in nicely with the speckled egg. I'm loading my brush up again. I'm thinking about where I want to go here. And I might go down here just a little bit. Don't need to be perfect. And this is what I mean by my thirds, because I've done 1, I've done 2, and now I'm going to do 3. I just like it. I like the way it looks to my eye. And that's the way you should be crafting. There you go. So you can see it's blotchy, but only in 3 sections. Let's see how close we can get. There we go, that's better. Isn't that great? Look at that. Oh, I just love this cardstock. Right, now then, we are going in with some walnut stain, and we will probably use some walnut stain right at the end again. Now, it is going to take a couple of seconds for this cardstock to dry, so I will quickly pause so that that can happen. Now, I've got walnut stain on here, but I only want to do my edge. And it's looking quite neat at the moment. There you go, I just went off the edge. And now I'm going to do my thirds again with what's left. And just very gently, because this one is quite a dark shade. And if you feel yourself that you need to knock it back down again because it's too dark for you, then just go in with some tea dye, which I may do in a minute. Yeah, if something's too grungy for you, just knock it back with a lighter shade. Right, so I'm thinking about old and used. Right, I've got tea dye on here. Don't worry about, you know, getting your colours all mixed on your foams, because you can wash them if you want to. So I'm just blending that in. And then this is quite a large bit, so just want to do that. Right, dust that off. You can splatter it with water or whatever if you want to, but I kind of like just having hazy bits going on. Right, now I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and I'll also wash my mat and I'll come right back. Right, I tidied up and my ink is dry, and now we're going into this stamp set. And first of all, I'm going to go in with my grunge stamp. So as I said, I'm using VersaFine Clair. I want to move this up so that you can see it. Just get the lid off my pad here and ink it up. And it's nice to just kind of like randomly go in places. You don't have to be perfect. And you can use up any little bit of ink. Doesn't matter if it's more faded than another area. And because this is grungy, you can overlap it. So we're starting to fade a bit. So I think I've got a bit of ink left in that area. I'm going to go there. There. And now I'm going to go here as well. I want that just to be pale. Now I'm going to use my Baroque Scrolly stamp. I'm just going to pop all my stamps there because they're going to need a good wash. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm actually going to stamp over the grunge. So I want to go into a large area here. I'm going to give this one a bit of CPR so it has stronger contact. So we've got our little bit of squirrely there, and I'm going to do a bit more. I kind of like the idea of coming here onto there. I think I'm going to do a bit here. I've still got some ink left on it. And then, I don't know if I've got a little bit of ink left here. If I can go there. Oh, that one's quite faded, but never mind. So, all you're trying to do is build up your images. I think I quite like that. Like that left a bit grungy. Yeah, I do like this section of the stamp though. I'm going to try and catch that bit. It's kind of more blobby. So I'm going to try and get that up here and put it here. There. Oh, I like that, yeah. We've got a few blobs. It's always, you know, interesting to look at your stamp and where bits start and end. Right, so we've got that. Next I want to do script. So I want to put some script in here. But I only want to put ink on part way of my stamp. So I'm looking at how I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to put my block down and I'm only going to ink this portion. So I did apply quite a bit of pressure there. And the reason for that is I don't want it to go off the edge of the card, if you know what I mean. So I've gone there and it hasn't gone into the pattern. And now I want to stamp the last section. And ooh, I'm thinking, have I got a scrap of paper? Or I can just use my silicone sheet because I can wash it afterwards. I'm just getting my stamps all over the place. Take that one off. So I'm just going to pop that down on it about there. And then I'm going to put that bit there. Right, just so that my script is all over on that side. Right, I'm quite happy with that. And I also need my postcard stamp. I'm just moving stuff around here. And I want that to go up here. So, got that again. And we're going to ink that up. I mean, you can use different colours of ink to stamp as well. And of course you can use your distress oxides to stamp. They look really pretty. But I just wanted to stick with black. And I am going to go right there. And of course, if you wanted to add colour into it, you can. You know, like you could brush colour and stuff into there. Right, so now I've got that, and you can see I've got these empty spaces. Now, there is a daisy stamp here that I really love. And that's this one. And I have used this one before, but I just really like it. So I'm going to ink this up, and no, actually I'm going to put it in my stamp platform. That shows you where my mind is today. So I'm just picking this up. That shouldn't hit the camera. I'll put that there. And I've got that butted up into that corner. And I think I'm going to go here. Yeah. So I'm going to have that there. I'm going to ink that up. I'm just inking up my stamp here. I'm just noticing that it's not actually showing up on the camera, so I apologise for that. And then we're going to put some pressure on that, just to make sure that it's stamping, and that's a lovely stamp. I'm keeping the stamp there. And now I'm going to get this out, and we're going to get our paint markers out, which makes it real simple. Now obviously I've got a green stem, so I'm just checking this one, and you can add whatever colours you want to, so don't worry about going over the lines a bit, that doesn't matter. Just going down to here, and there's a little bit of green here. I've got a little bit of fluff on my nib, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just going to wave that around for a second to make sure that dries. Paint markers do tend to dry quite quickly. I want a yellow centre for my flower, so all I'm doing is going straight in and straight over all of those lines, because that doesn't matter. And then I haven't used this one in a while. Now, for those of you that have these, sometimes you'll find if you haven't used them for a few days, they might go a little bit chalky on you. So give it a good shake, inspect the nib, have a look at it, you'll see if it's gone chalky. And just do this. I hope you can see this. Put your nib on its side and roll it around, and that usually cures it enough to get a nice smooth finish. And then gently put your nib onto a mat, count to about 5 and lift, and you'll see that there's all fresh paint coming down on that nib. You know, don't hit it really hard, just do it really softly. Now while I've got this, I want to add a white stripe in here. And I just want to scratch it down. I don't want to be perfect. There, that will do for that. Just prime it again just in case. And now I want to do my daisy. And because you've got these lovely dark lines, these vertical lines through the petals, you know, to denote the creases in them, you can just quite literally drag your white paint pen in that direction. And just highlight them. And if you feel that you want a much stronger white, wait for it to dry, give it a second coat. Otherwise you'll find you'll scratch your paint off again. So what I'll do is I'll let this dry, and I'll come right back and we'll do a second coat. I'm just fighting to get my mouse. Okay, I think that is dry enough, so I'm just going to move that over there. I'm going straight back in with my white, and you'll see it will start to come up a little bit brighter. Sometimes with oxide inks it can absorb the colour of the paint, and you find that if you want more definition, just go in again. But as I said, this stamp has got those lovely vertical lines in the petals, and you can just follow those. So now we have a much brighter white, and it doesn't matter if you go over the lines, just don't worry about that. And then I think in here, while I've got this, I'm going to put a little bit of light just there. Right, another great way to dry this is just to flap your design up and down. Yeah, so that's what we've got at the moment, and you're thinking that looks an awful mess. Yeah, so we've got that. I'm just going to touch it with my finger. That is dry, so we'll bring back our stamp platform. That was my bow shaking himself, bless him. Oh, I've just noticed I've got all this gunk here. Let me just move that. And it's made a stamp mark there, which is nice. And I'm just going to hold that in position. I'm going to get my VersaFine Clair again. And I'm just inking up the stamp on my lid. And we're going down over the top of our painting. Let's have a look at that. There we go. We've just put all of our lines back in, but we've got a nice white background. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to do a piece of that butterfly. So I'm just going to pop this back in here, and I want to see how much of that butterfly I can fit in, because it might mean that I have to change things. So I'm just reaching under here. And I'm wondering how much. Now you've got guides here so that you can remember where you put your card. And this is usually when I like my Sharpie on my desk and I don't think it's here. I don't know if this pen is going to work. Oh, I found a Sharpie. So let's have a look here. I'll move this up here so you can see what I'm doing. My stamp is touching the top register line, and my card is here. And I don't think my Sharpie's, oh it is, it's going to work. So I've just put a little black mark there so I can see from my vision where the top of my card should be. Now this may and it may not work, I do not know. But one of the best things to do when you're doing this is to colour it while it's on the mat. So, you know, kind of like without removing it from the actual stamp platform. And that way you can be virtually sure of what you've done, just as long as you're colouring in very gently. So I've got a bit of butterfly going on now. Right, so I'm just going to fold that open. I've got this lovely light blue here, and I'm going to hold my piece with my finger, and I'm just going to do the whole shape in blue. Don't worry about going over your ink. And you don't even have to worry about getting an absolute solid colour, if you know what I mean. So I'm just scratching those lines in the direction that I think there would be a butterfly. I'm going off here. See the start and the finish, and of course I've got the body, so I'm going to use some yellow as well. I'm going quiet because I'm having fun. Right, so we've got that. And now I'm going in with the same yellow that I used on this, and I'm just going to put that down there. And I think, well, I've got my white pen out, I might do a few stripes there as well. So I'm just going to use my imagination and just put a little bit of white in and shake it. Make sure I've got some coming out. I mean, it could be that my bottom layer is still a bit wet. I'm testing it. So I don't want too much white, I just want to put a few scratches in. Ooh, I think I blocked it up with my blue paint. There, I don't need it to be absolutely tidy, I just want a little bit of white in there. Right, now I'm just going to let that dry right there just for a few seconds and I'll be right back. Right, I think that'll do, and we're going to ink up the butterfly that is still stuck onto my stamp platform here. Now, of course, this is the bit where you have to say a small prayer just in case you moved your cardstock. But if it does shadow slightly, it doesn't matter because you've already buried your ink lines with that paint. So let's do it and find out. Right, I'll give them that a good old press. There we go. And I have a little bit of cleaning up to do, but I'm just going to move that out of the way. And my very scruffy mat. Right, let's have a closey up. I hope my camera is not playing up. But how quick and easy is that? And I do believe you could put a stamp on it, because you could certainly write on the reverse of it. So, but I think I would finish the edge with a little bit of walnut stain, just so that it kind of stands out above everything else. You could even go around the edge with some black soot if you wanted to. But there we have it. Isn't that easy to do that? Just to stamp and paint. And then stamp again. I love that. Right, I thank you so much for joining me today, and I am up again tomorrow with something a bit different. I thank you so much for joining me. Have an absolutely awesome day, and as usual, all links below. Bye.